Happy Monday, everybody out there in Facebook land. Hope you had an excellent, hopefully a relaxing weekend. Hopefully not too much on your to-do list. Although I'm jealous of you guys because I work more on the weekends than I do during the week, which is a lot already during the week. But I just, I got work issues, but that's another conversation. I'm just glad to be with you guys again. I'm always excited to do our lives. I'm always excited to introduce you to wonderful people that I have as my guest that are making a difference in the world. And if you've been paying attention, and whether you've seen one of these or you've seen several of these or somewhere in between, thank you for paying attention because it is for you. I'm grateful for each one of you. And um, you'll notice that we have a lot of entrepreneurs on here. We have a lot of leaders on here. And it's pretty cool as I get to know them and their stories. What I want to communicate to all of you guys very clearly is they didn't just snap their finger and get there. It was very, very hard work, lots of failure along the way. I was having this conversation with my son just the other day that failure is an event. It's not a characterization of your personality unless you let it be. But it's the same for entrepreneurs, right? I mean, a lot of trial and error and a lot of falling down on your face. And when they make it, it came with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And it doesn't mean they won't fail again. And it doesn't mean you and I won't fail again. And before I go too far down that rabbit hole, let me summarize that with you'll hear time and time again in these interviews that their story wasn't over yet, even in their darkest days, even in their wilderness seasons, even when they were at their lowest of lows. They were worthy, by the way. How about that? They were worthy even in their darkest day, and their story wasn't over yet. And you will hear that theme repeatedly with our guests because it's true. And I don't want someone on that just has a highlight reel and isn't relatable because you're going through something. I'm going through something, and we need the encouragement and the hope. So I'm just grateful to be able to bring guests like my friend Allie to you today. And if my phone would cooperate, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Allie Porter is a PR and media strategist and is the founder of Millionaire Momentum. She is a wife, mother of four, and a proud husky owner. Her family is the joy at the center of everything she does. With over 20 years in business, Allie has built and scaled multiple ventures, including an e-commerce brand, a virtual assistant agency, and work across coaching, consulting, network marketing, affiliate marketing, and even an AI agency. Through all of those experiences, she discovered her true gift, helping people be seen. Today, Allie helps coaches, authors, speakers, and influencers get seen by millions and share their message with the masses. She has been featured on NBC, CBS, Fox, USA Today, and more. And now she's on a mission to help others step fully into their authority. Allie, awesome, awesome, awesome. Welcome to the R Worthy Network.
Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh, Steve, this has been a long time in the making. So I'm so grateful to have you do this and to really inspire others with the stories that you share. And so thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
You're very, very welcome. Isn't it always, how do you feel when somebody reads your bio like I just did?
It's humbling, to be honest. And but at the same time, it's also very it's good for me to hear because when you're an
Mhm.
entrepreneur, and I don't know if, anyone can relate to this, but when you're an entrepreneur, you have this drive and this spirit of like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? How are we going to impact more? How are we going to make more? How are we going to bless more? How are we going to whatever the thing is? And so it's nice to just be able to sit back and say, wow, thank you, God. Thank you for like partnering with me and allowing me to like be an instrument in your hands and do all of these things because you don't take time to do that. So thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do that.
It's good for us to slow down for a minute and reflect. I was
Yeah,
just telling the church that I shepherd yesterday, there's a reason why Joshua 4 is there. There's a reason for the stones of remembrance because we're going to go through another tough thing.
yeah,
And it's right around the corner if you're not already in a storm. And we need to remember what the Lord has done for us previously because he's not going to suddenly become unfaithful because that wouldn't be part of his character. And
exactly.
so it is good to remember. So Allie, tell us what part of the world you reside in.
So I live in Texas, Fort Worth to be specific, but yeah, we live in Fort Worth, Texas. So we're loving it.
Yeah, are you a Texas native?
No, I'm not actually. My dad was in the military, so we grew up everywhere. And then my husband was in lots of different universities getting a PhD, and so we moved around there as well. But then he works at TCU now, so that's where we're stationed, or like that's where we landed. So, yep.
Yeah, I love Texas. I just got back from Dallas about, well, it was a month ago.
Hmm.
But I've not been specifically to the Fort Worth area, but I hear good things about it.
Oh, it's wonderful. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So big family, you and your husband. I know you got the four kids. So
Hmm.
how long have you and your husband been married?
20 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
So yeah, yeah.
And the kiddos, are they still all at home or
Yep. Yeah, our oldest is 17, almost 18, and then we have a 15, almost 16-year-old, and then we have a let's see, how old is she? 12, and then we have our son at the end who's 10. So,
Okay. Yeah, I remember our conversation. I've got one out of the house at 19, and I've got one 17, almost 18, and then I've got one that just turned 15. So yeah, you are
mhm.
in the throes of it for sure.
Oh yeah, the teenager in the throes of teenagedom, so to speak. It's great.
Yes, yes. So what do you guys as a family like to do for fun, both locally, just everyday fun, so
Hmm.
to speak, and then do you guys travel anywhere for fun?
Yeah, so we love, well, we love to watch movies. So we watch movies at home a lot. But then we also love to go boating. So we actually have a boat and we take it out every summer. We go to Lake Powell, which is in Utah, Arizona. Every year we go to North Carolina at my parents' lake house. They live on a lake, so we just go boating all the time. So that's a big thing for our family is getting out in the nature, outdoors. So, yeah,
Now,
that's one of the
now, do
big.
you trail that boat all the way from Fort Worth to North Carolina?
No, my parents have a boat, so we don't have to do that. But we occasionally we do take it to Lake Powell if they need it. But usually there's boats there too that family uses and stuff. So we don't have to do it very often. We have had to do it a couple times, and it's been quite the trip. But normally we don't have to, so it's nice.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So let's get in the time machine
Hmm.
and let's go back to your senior year in high school.
Okay.
Those that watch my interviews, they know what I'm trying to establish with this because we all know that 17, 18-year-old seniors are all over the map in terms of their goals and their vision, or lack of, depending on the person. So who were you? Were you that young lady, 2 weeks left of high school? You've got the date on your calendar. You've got the cap. You've got the gown. Maybe you have the class ring. Maybe you're in charge of getting the beach ball for the ceremony. Um, are you senior-itis to the max? Can't wait to get out of there, can't stand it. You're already working a job. You're going to have that same job in the summer. You know where you're going to go to school or do something else in the fall. Or on the other end of that spectrum, well, I don't know. I guess I need to get serious about that. I like it here a lot. I'm going to miss it, I guess I should get a job, or I got this job, but I need a different one. I guess I better make up my mind what I'm going to do, or somewhere in between. Where were you?
Yeah, so I that's a great question. So for me, I have always not really loved school, to be honest with you. And so whether it's my high school or college or whatever, like I was just kind of like, all right, I'm ready to be done. Like, let's be done. I was excited for the adventure part of it and moving away from home. I do love my family. They're amazing. Obviously, we are still very close and everything, but I was excited to get out on my own, do my own thing. So I think for me, it was more of a, okay, this was a great experience. I lived it to the fullest. I'm ready for the next chapter. I'm ready for the next thing. And I remember really thinking, okay, I'm going to go to college because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to go to college because that's the next step. So therefore, I'm going to take the next step and I'm going to go to college. But I wasn't like super excited about actual like the whole I love learning. I love learning. I just don't love tests and I don't love people telling me when I have to be places, obviously, which is why I'm an entrepreneur. But I was excited for the adventure side of it and to see what was out there and see what was possible. But yeah, my story kind of evolves from even college. Like that's how I even started my entrepreneurial journey was because of college and what I didn't or did and did not like about it. So it's interesting. Yeah.
Well, that yeah, I'd like to hear more about that because that's interesting. You say that it's very rare, at least in my experiences. I've done over 100 interviews, and I'm not sure I've heard yet. I got to think back for a second. It's extremely rare that you hear about an entrepreneur. They have tendencies, but someone that actually got their feet in the water as early as right out of high school or college years. But you're saying that's the case for you.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it wasn't like right out of high school. It was I had been in college for about 2 years when it happened, but it was kind of one of those things where you always felt out of place. Like I always felt like I was a little bit different from my family. My family's very traditional, go to school, get a degree, do all the things, whatever. And I just always, that always was just kind of not where I wanted to be. I always felt like I was behind or that I was bored in class. And I was a dreamer. I wanted to be able to just, I don't know, do something different, like make it fun and exciting. But I knew that, college was the next step. So that's why I went into college. But I will be honest with you, when I graduated from college, I literally didn't really know what I still wanted to do. So I graduated in like general studies and I had like a cluster in Spanish and a cluster in music and, a minor in, I can't remember what the other thing was, but it was just kind of like random stuff because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I had a vision of something that would give me freedom, something that would allow me to be able to be home with my kids when we started having kids and that kind of thing. And so, I don't know if you want me to go into the story of how it all happened, but do you want me to go there?
So,
You want to
okay.
wait?
So, well, no, we're right there.
Okay.
So you're in college.
Yeah.
I'm getting this picture that, and I did the same thing. I think a lot of us out of high school go to college because it's the next thing that most people do. It's the
Hmm.
right thing in the order of life. And I look back at mine, different situation than yours. I just wasn't ready. I
Hmm.
wasn't ready for the responsibility. I didn't have the maturity,
Hmm.
all that stuff. And but it sounds like the Allison we're getting to know, Allie, sorry. It sounds like you didn't have any boxes. You lived life outside the box. You were very creative. Would that be
Yeah.
accurate?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I would say. Yeah, I definitely don't like boxes. I don't like I was very much like, okay, I part of the reason why I went to college was so that I could learn what's out there so that I could break the box and just go and do whatever I wanted to do. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it was interesting though because I do feel like there's a place for education. Like I do think that it's good. And my husband,
Mhm.
that's what my husband does. He's in academia. He's actually a professor, a college professor. So I I think that there is a definite need for it, of course. But for me, it was more of an exploration, figuring out what I like, what I don't like, what I am passionate about, what I'm not passionate about. And so what happened was when I graduated, again, it was kind of eclectic in different things. But what was really cool is my husband and I were actually graduating at the same time. And we had had our first kid, and she was about 3 months old at the time. And so the fact that I was even graduating from college was a big deal because I made it, and that's hard for me. And so I was like, I want her to be dressed up with me. I want her to like walk across. I want to walk across the stage with her, dressed up, and we can all be dressed up together, and it'll be this little family thing that we're doing. And so I couldn't find a cap and gown that was small enough to fit her because she's 3 months old. So I made one. I made a little cap and gown, and I got to hold her, and we walked across the stage together. We all graduated. It was this really cool thing. And because I don't know why, but like people were like, oh my gosh, that is such a cute idea. I love that idea. You should make us caps and gowns, like blah, blah, blah. And so I kind of got thrown into it and not really realizing what it was, what entrepreneurship was in that way, because I we didn't grow up with it in our household. And so, but the second that I realized, like, oh my gosh, I can make something and I can sell it and I can get money for it and I get to control how much I'm selling, what I'm doing, my time, like all the things, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. And so my first venture was in e-commerce. And so I had that business for about 15 years. So that one really was the first thing that I was passionate about. And so as I had young kids, I did all kinds of stuff. I did trade shows. I made other baby products and stuff like that. And so that was really fun. And I did online sales and I did all this stuff. And I even hired people to help me because I got, too many orders and stuff like that. So it was really, really cool. So through all of that, though, I realized what I like and what I don't like. And I'm really much a digital person. I'm not so much physical product person. And so that's when I built my virtual assistant agency and I managed like 30 contractors. We worked with $1 million clients and all the things. And that was really cool. But what I learned from that was that I also don't love to manage people either. I like the freedom of being able to have something that's digital that is automated and that runs for you. So I learned that it was a great experience though, and I loved the people I worked with and all the things there as well. And so again, those are just two examples, but there was multiple things that I did along my entrepreneurial journey that taught me all these different skill sets and all these different things. And I don't think that it's wrong for people to pivot and to shift and to create something new if what they're doing doesn't work anymore. And so that's just two of the many, many experiences that I have. And you can ask my husband. He's like, yeah, she's had like 10 businesses. But it's been every single one has taught me something, right? Even my coaching business taught me something. My consulting business taught me something. My network marketing businesses taught me a lot. My affiliate marketing business taught me a lot, which I'm still doing today. And even my AI agency business taught me so much about working with different types of people in different situations. And the AI business, I had a business partner. And so that's even more different. You know what I mean? So through all the experiences, I was able to kind of collectively learn about myself, figure out what works, what doesn't work. And I couldn't have done that any other way other than just doing it and being in the trenches and figuring out what works and doesn't work. And so at the end of the day, I was having a conversation with God because I was like, look, God, I've done all the things and it's been great and it's been a wild ride and I've loved it over the last, I think it was like, what, 18 years at that point. And I was like, okay, I need to figure out what I love though. Like what I could do for the rest of my life that would not burn me out, that wouldn't, cause me to feel like I'm trapped in a box and I need to get out. And so what he told me was that I was a connector, that I love people, that I want to champion them and I want to cheer them on and I want to help them get seen in, that space. And I had already had a podcast where I would kind of interview people similar to kind of what you do, slightly different, but similar. And at that point, I was like, okay, well, I can, get people on my podcast or I can help people in that way. But through a series of events, I had been introduced to PR and media, and I realized that if I could go into that space and really help people in the PR and media space, not just in my podcast and other ways, but really on a national, international level, get them seen by millions of people and really help them to get that growth and credibility more than anything, then I could help them and bless them in more ways than just, oh yeah, let's just get you here. And so that's why I decided to dive into the PR and media space because also it's a crazy place. It's a very it can be a very like trashy, not great place if you're not careful. And so I wanted to be a voice of integrity, of helping people with good values and morals and all the things. And so now that I'm in that space, I found a great team, and so we work together really well, and we can help people get all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, it was digital. And again, they get to work with my team, so I don't have to be in the nitty-gritty of it, but I get to just be excited to share that vision of what it is that they're, going to be able to do once they have the PR. And so I found something that really resonates with me and really is something that I'm passionate about. And so I know that was really long, but it's been this like journey of learning, of growth, of like you said earlier, through all of the things, that's where the growth happens. It doesn't happen by not doing anything. It doesn't happen by
Mm.
just sitting and waiting and hoping that something's gonna just come into fruition. You have to do things
Yeah.
messy and, just do it. So,
Mhm. Yeah, that's so interesting. I just did a video on that very thing this morning. Um, I want to come right back to this, what you're doing now, but I want to go back for a second because I want to
yeah,
make sure I heard you right. So, how old was your daughter when you graduated from college?
3 months.
So, 3 months old, you make her a cap and gown.
Hmm.
I love that. Um, did you sell more of those?
Yeah, lots more. I mean, the business was around for almost 15 years. So, yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. So let's use that as a boomerang to come back to where you're at now.
yeah.
Tell folks exactly what you do with PR and how that differentiates from everybody else because you are out of the box
Yeah.
and why you're so passionate about it.
Yeah, so I would say, so what makes us really different, I would say, is that we're honest with what we can get you and what we can't get you. We don't promise the moon, and everything. We're like, this is what the PR is for. The PR isn't for you to you are seen by millions, but it's not to get millions of sales. It's to get the credibility that then will open the doors to getting more clients and customers and stuff because now you have that credibility. And so, and the other thing I think that sets us apart too is a lot of people will get PR. So PR meaning press releases specifically, that's the one we focus on the most. So articles that they can be in, NBC, Fox, CBS, USA Today, all the different ones. We have Canadian outlets as well and stuff, but the whole purpose is to get them seen with the PR. But a lot of people will pay for PR, but then they won't know what to do with it. So then it just feels like wasted money because
Mm,
they don't actually have a structure or a system to be able to utilize it the best way possible. And so we created a PR integration playbook that basically walks them through how to use it. So once they have this credibility now, what do they do? How do they leverage it in conversations, in their social media, in their on their podcast interviews, on their stages, on whatever it is, on their, resumes or bios or whatever it is that they're trying to utilize it for. How do they best utilize it for the benefit of the people they work with and themselves and all the things? And so I think that's what really sets us apart. And then what was your other question?
Why are you passionate about it?
Oh, why am I passionate about it? Because and the reason I love working, and I work with any business, right? Like we can work with restaurant owners and brick and mortar and all the things, but my favorite people to work with are coaches, authors, and speakers and influencers because those people are visionaries. Those people have a passion and a mission that they're trying to get out to the world, and they need more people to see it and more people to understand how they are changing the world in their own way and in their own zone of genius. And so those people, I don't know, I just have this like innate desire to like shout it from the rooftops and be like, look at them, like look what they're doing. They're making such a cool, difference in the world. And if I can help in any small way to help them elevate their message and their mission, then that's what I'm here to do.
So I'm trying to think which direction I want to go because I got a couple of trains of thoughts here. Um, I will say to those of you that are going to watch this over the next 30 days that I believe Allie is the real deal and she is passionate about what she does. She is great at what she does, and she does want to do it with the most integrity absolutely possible. Why am I telling you that? I have not worked with Allie yet from a business perspective, but I can tell you I want to. I can tell you that God willing, we're going to. So I'm advocating for her even before I've worked with her because I've seen other people say great things about her work and I've seen some of her work. So I'm just putting that out there. Um, would you say how long you been doing the PR now?
Yeah, so the PR has been a little over 8 months now. So it's been very recent. Um, so yeah, this one's been very recent. Yeah.
So you said you asked God
Yeah.
to and I can imagine a little bit of that prayer because you have, I mean, like we read in your bio, you have done a lot. Matter of fact, I read that and I think there's no way you crammed all that in your young life.
That's what's
um,
called pivoting a bunch of times. But yeah.
um, but would you say at this stage that he answered it exactly like, I mean, beyond what you could have asked? I mean, you ask him to give you something that you could do and be passionate about the rest of your life. Do you feel like you're in the middle of that right now?
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. And here's the other thing too, is like I don't think that there is a one size fits all ever in anything. And if you feel like, you're well, and I'll just kind of go out on a limb here, but in, so I have my PR and media business, but I also, on the side, help people make money online because I feel like it's important for them to have additional income streams in not just their one business that they're working on, but have like cash flow, on the side. And a lot of people would say, well, that's confusing your audience or that's whatever. But I figured out a way to not even like, I'm telling you that I do both, but I don't promote it that way. So I only share it with people that I know need it or desire it or whatever. And so it's really cool to see again, even within what I'm doing, how God is allowing things to simultaneously work. So I want people who are hearing me, like you can be multi-passionate and you can build two things simultaneously and it work and it be amazing and super fulfilling. I would say I'm focused more on the PR and media side right now because, your audience are probably business owners who want to scale their business. And so that's what I focus on. But if it's like a mom or a dad that's just like working, 50 hours a week and they can never like they just can't seem to get the revenue in to help pay the bills or whatever, like then I'm going to share with them the strategies I use to make money online, on the side. So, and neither one is better than the other. It's who needs what you have. And so you're not going to tell a business owner that's trying to scale their business, "Hey, do you want to make money online?" Like that doesn't it doesn't resonate. It doesn't work, right? And vice versa. You're not going to tell the mom and dad, hey, let's scale your business. Do you want some PR? Like that doesn't work. And so you have to figure out, okay, like who am I speaking with and who is my audience? And so when it comes down to deciding how you want to run your business and who you want to speak to and how you want to really stand out and be the most authentic version of yourself, that's between you and God. And nobody can tell you how it's supposed to look. Now, your results don't lie, right? So if you feel like, things are not meshing and because I did have that problem earlier where I would try and just speak to everybody and then I was speaking to nobody. And I would try to like mix things because I was a connector. And so I just connect people with all these really cool stuff. But it didn't work in the way that I wanted to because it was confusing my audience. And so when you are listening to God and where He wants you to go, you need to also look at what has worked in the past and what other people are doing in that way and be smart about it. And God will lead you like where you need to go in what direction. But I think I love what you're doing with your podcast and how you're helping people to see no matter what it is that you're doing, realize that God created you so uniquely and you are worthy for whatever it is that you desire to do. And it doesn't have to look like what I'm doing, and it doesn't have to look like what Steve's doing. It's innately what you desire to do and what brings you joy. And, but also don't be afraid of pivoting like that. And it's funny that you brought that up earlier where you're like, how did she cram all that? It's because when something isn't in alignment anymore, I pivot and I like get back into realignment. And so in my mind, I just feel like I failed and learned faster because I pivoted faster. And so it really just comes down to how many times can I fall on my face and get back up and try again, you know? So, yeah.
And that's what we all have to do. We can't stay down. We all fall
Mhm.
down, but we can't stay down. It's about how many times you can get up. I know that sounds cliche, but it is a quote and it's a true one.
Hmm.
Um, so all the success, you're living in your sweet spot now.
Yes.
Was it one of these times that you had to pivot, or was it something more personal? Tell us about a time when you didn't feel very worthy.
Yeah. So, I would say that it was actually this business now that I'm in with the PR and media where it really, that's why I didn't do it for so long because it was this feeling of like, who am I to do PR and media? Like what, like I've never done anything like this before. Like what, like who am I to be that in that space where I'm shouting, from the rooftops to other people and getting them seen and stuff. And it came, and in fact, I do speaking events as well, where I can have speakers come, and I would love to have you, Steve, by the way, come speak at my event. But I talk about this, about how it's so interesting how God will take your biggest weakness or the thing that you just don't feel like you're worthy about, and He'll turn it into your strength, right?
Yep.
And that's exactly what this business did for me because I have been so I have wanted to just stay back and just be the girl next door and just kind of like, just not be seen. Like I just didn't want to be seen. I wanted everybody else to be seen and not me, you know? And I think that's also why I'm really good at helping other people be seen because I love that. I love getting them in the limelight. I love get them getting out there, but
Mm.
I would never do it for myself because I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel like I was supposed to be. Like I'm just like, nope, I'm behind the scenes. I'm not gonna. That's why the virtual assistant agency, the even network marketing, affiliate marketing, my e-commerce, all of that, I was able to kind of stay back.
Mm. Hmm.
And with the PR, I actually had to come forward and I had to be like, okay, like I'm gonna now be this face of this business and I'm going to be the business itself, the services that we offer are ones that get people seen. But if I'm not willing to be seen, how can I get other people to be seen? Right? And so, in fact, it was interesting because even my team that does all of this stuff, we were talking the other day and they were like, okay, so we need to up your like how you're being seen because you're still playing super small. So we got to go in there and we got to fix things. So we're in the process right now of revamping my own business itself using my team, which is great, but they're going to get me seen in bigger and more massive ways so that the people that I serve can now be seen in bigger and massive ways. But it took so much for me to finally be like, okay, I can do this, right? Like, like I matter enough, like God, I'm worthy enough. And he's like, you don't ever have to earn it. You just have to trust that you're already worthy. You've been worthy this whole
Exactly.
time. You've been holding
Yes.
yourself back, you know?
Did y'all hear that? She just echoed what I've been saying for 8 months. You don't have to earn it. You already are. Oh, I love that. And it is so true. Obviously, your convictions have grown that you need to be out in front of this, and that conviction will only grow more. It reminds me of wasn't even a year ago. I was at a conference I was invited to, and I was representing a nonprofit that I was involved with at the time, and I was the face of the organization, and they were designing retractable banners for me, the graphics team that I was working with, and they put my headshot on a retractable banner, and I felt so awkward about that. I'm like, thousands of people are going to see that, and I'm going to be standing 10 feet away from that. And but wiser people than me helped me move past that. Like, are you not the face? Yeah, I guess, and all that stuff. So I do, I started to see the wisdom in it, just like you did. And it's just embracing what's uncomfortable. And and this is for not just Allie and I, we're still growing in this. We're all growing together.
Hmm.
That we make these decisions, sometimes fear and doubt and being uncomfortable, it comes along with us.
Yeah.
But you know what? We do it, and the confidence grows, and the momentum grows, and the trust increases, and the doubt goes away a little bit more each time. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, well, thank you. And I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I don't think it ever goes away completely.
No, not
I think it does go down. It does go down because you're putting more trust in God and less in yourself. And that's the other thing that I realized is when you're getting out there, you are, and even if you're not, someone of faith, the fact that you know that there's a higher power that is allowing you to do what you're doing in the world, right? It's not just you going out there and being amazing and wonderful and awesome, and it's all about you. The reason that you're stepping out and the reason that you desire to step out or the feeling of stepping out is so you can bless more people. And I say this all the time because my brand is Millionaire Momentum, and a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, I'm making millions of dollars and whatever. But it actually is what I say, where it's be seen by millions. So get out there, be in front of people so that you can make millions, right? Which is the dollars, but then bless millions, bless the people that you are meant to serve. And if you're staying back and you're not doing that, you're doing people a disservice because God created you to do something big in the world. If you feel that on your heart, that's how he created you. And who are you to tell him no? Right? And when I realized that, I was like, oh gosh, okay, here we go. You know?
that that quote, a version of that saying always hits hard. Like, who's suffering because you're playing small?
Yeah.
And I'm always like, just kind of drop my head and shake it. I remember when I was praying and praying and praying about going into the ministry. I had a dear friend say to me, he said, if God put that on your heart, I mean, it was truly from God, you got to believe it's just a matter of when, not if, because if he put it on your heart, he actually wants it more than you do.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, ah, that's a game changer right there.
Hmm.
So
And it goes back
uh,
to what you're saying about the worthiness. Like we're holding ourselves back. He knows we're worthy. He knows we're worthy. Otherwise, he wouldn't have put that on our hearts, right?
that's right. So I want you guys listening. What is God putting on your heart that you have tabled, procrastinated, shied away from, played small to? If you're listening to this, I bet as soon as I said that, you immediately thought of at least one thing. And how can you change that? What one small step can you take today to move towards that? So, Allie, tell folks where they can find you on social media. We'll have that included in the show notes, but I'd love for them to hear it from you too.
Yeah, for sure. So the easiest place to go find me, which has everything, is millionairemomentumlife.com. That will give you access to all the things, whether it's socials or whether it's the two different, offers that I have or whatever. But you can also find me on Facebook as well under Alyson Bullock Porter. So we'll have the links in the show notes and everything. But yeah, say hi. I would love to connect. Um, and yeah, so hopefully you come say hi.
She's very prompt about returning messages too. Um, Allie, this has been awesome. I want to thank you for sharing a little bit of your story, your creativity, and your vulnerability. That it's not always easy. I mean, I think those watching need to hear that over and over again to give all of us hope that we're all just trying to be the best version of ourselves that we can be, and we're all going to have ebbs and flows. It's not always a picnic on this journey for sure. What last words of encouragement would you leave the viewers? Maybe there's somebody watching today that has a big, big dream, but finances have been hard. Personal relationships have been hard. Maybe they're battling a health issue presently, but that dream still got a little flicker.
Yeah.
What would you leave them with today?
Well, first of all, I would, and again, I'm very faith-based. So for me, I would take that to the Lord and I would say, Lord, this is where I'm at. Like real and raw. I'm not going to perform. I'm not going to pretend like I'm something I'm not. I'm going to just be like, I'm really scared. I'm frustrated. I'm overwhelmed. I'm financially whatever, or whatever the thing is, right? And let him know where you're at to start and say, but I don't want to stay there. I want to make a difference. I want to this thing that you have given me that's on my heart that I can't seem to let go of. Even though everybody tells me I'm crazy, even though everybody says, "When are you going to quit? When is enough enough?" Like how many times have you heard that, you know? And ask him, like, how do you want me to move forward in this? Because I don't want to stay silent. I don't want to continue to do a disservice to others because I wasn't willing to step up. And the other thing, and so in that, he will show you the next step to take. And for me, it was very messy action. It wasn't organized. It wasn't like, okay, I'm going to get all my ducks in a row and everything's going to be perfect and stuff. Like it was so messy. It was just like, okay, I'm going to start with, I'm going to set up my landing page so people can pay me for my services. I'm going to decide what my services are. Periods. Then I did that first, right? Then I moved on to speaking and like other stuff. It just builds on each other, right? It doesn't have to look or feel any certain way. And I have redone my website. In fact, I'm redoing it right now, like again and again, because things pivot and shift, but at least I started. And I think that's the thing is even if you start and you hit a brick wall or something happens and you have to pivot, like that's okay. But at least you started and you didn't stay in this like perpetual stagnation, you know?
quicksand.
Yeah. Yeah. And the last thing I'll say is so just start, but then also like really be honest with yourself. What is the one thing that you can do that you love doing that is your passion? And just because somebody else says, "Oh, but this is great and this will make me a lot of money" or something, don't do that thing. Do the thing that you're passionate about because it'll always come back to that. And if there's one thing that I learned from pivoting and doing all these different things, it sounds glamorous and awesome, but I'll be honest with you, it wasn't. I mean, I made lots of money, but I also lost a lot of money too. And in all of it, I wasn't actually living true in alignment with what I love and what God has given me, like my talent that He's given me until now. And it took me 20 years to get there, and it doesn't have to take you 20 years to get there if you do it from the beginning.
I love that. Wise words. Wise words for sure. Allie, can't thank you enough for being our special guest today. This has been awesome.
Thank you for having me. It's been such a pleasure, and I love what you're doing. I love how you're impacting the world. Keep doing it. Your interviews are just amazing, and I know you're blessing so many people. So thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for the encouragement. Guys, wise words from Allie today. Find what you're passionate about. Take a step. Reach out to God. Of course, I'm going to agree with that because I'm faith based too, right? He will show you the next steps. It's all true. Won't be easy, but He will not leave you or forsake you. He is with you every step of the way. I appreciate each one of you. Till next time, remember, in between this interview and the next one, you're worthy every single minute. Appreciate each one of you. God bless.